Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, and in this video we're breaking down our big predictions for the rest of Invincible Season 2. I want to get straight into it as there's a lot to talk about, but obviously this will cover major aspects of the comics which will probably ruin the series for you. Though it's never a one-for-one adaptation, it's still pretty close, so please turn off now if you don't want to be spoiled. I'm being nice today. Anyway, with that out of the way, huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into Invincible Season 2. Okay, so the first part ended with a full circle arc in which Mark was once more laid flat out on his back with a Viltrumite towering over him. This time though, it was General Craig who was demanding that he works with them. Yikes. Craig is gonna play his part down the line, but I actually don't think he'll be the major villain for the rest of Season 2 unless they massively jump ahead. He's not really also a major villain either. He kind of is, but he's one of the sort of build-up Viltrumites to get into that big bad, who we won't spoil either. Instead, I think what we're going to get is a big focus on Angstrom Levy, which will bring things full circle from the opening of the season. We watched his origin story during episode 1, and I think that by episode 8 we'll see the character's downfall. Now how this happens in the comics is that Mark gets stranded on Thraxa after the Viltrumite invasion. Spending a couple of months there, he helps to rebuild the planet and also gets to know his stepmother and brother a little better. At this point, his brother doesn't have a name because the Thraxans believe that one should choose their own name when they get to a certain age. Eventually, Oliver gets that one because it's Debbie's father's name, and it sort of brings those two characters together. Anyway, on Thraxa, the civilization built Mark a ship so he can fly back home, and he's entrusted with Oliver due to his lifespan. Andressa says that she'll be dead by the time he can form a sentence and that no one on the planet will be there to care for him. Thus he takes him back to Earth, and at this point Debbie agrees to raise him. Now this is kind of a big deal for her, as he's of course Nolan's son with his other wife. Awkward. Episode 4 of Season 2 had the pair contemplating ending it all, and they had really fallen mentally after the events of the Season 1 finale. Huge shoutouts to Brainpilot for pointing out that Nolan drifting towards that black hole was because he wanted to end it all, and that's one of the only things powerful enough that can kill a Viltrumite. Still though, he managed to find a new life, and in many ways, Ollie's a second chance for Debbie. Ollie kinda represents a connection to Nolan as well, and he helps to fill the void that she's been missing in her life. Eventually he calls Mark brother, like some Hulk Hogan shit, and starts to get tutored by a woman named April Hausman. Now she's been properly trained to deal with Soup Kid, so it's not too bad, and it allows Ollie to quickly learn about Earth and get up to speed with everything. I don't think that Ollie will get to his Kid Omni-Man phase in Season 2, as it's still a long way away story-wise, but you never know with this stuff. Like when I was flicking through the omnibus at this point, it's when Rudy gets put into his real body by the Maulers, which happened in Season 1, so you can kinda see how stuff moves about. I also think that the Sequid invasion will be happening in the upcoming season, as all that stuff with Shapesmith's been moved forward too. It's clearly been done for a reason, and it's a very big battle in the comic that leads to a number of major things happening, but one of those most notable things is that Mark fights in his blue and black costume. This is something that's been getting teased towards with the logo for Season 2, with the colours cracking away to change things up. I think that signifies that it's coming, and that the Sequids will also arrive. Now during part 2, I think that the Immortal and Kay will end up getting married, however this somewhat has a bit of tragedy to it. When the Sequids arrive, Cecil ends up sending the strongest Guardians out because the creatures won't be able to penetrate their skin. The Guardians like Kate remain behind, but it's at this moment that the Lizard League attack as well. Kate is seemingly killed during this by Komodo, with all of her duplicate bodies being brutally murdered. A funeral is held, and it's a pretty devastating way that I think they could take Season 2. Turns out that the Kate we've been seeing isn't the original, and though there's 1, 2, 3, and 5, is it? Number 5 comes after. I don't know, I'm a YouTuber. There's still Zero, who's still the original that all the other Kates spawned from. Zero's kept herself secret from everyone and locked herself away so that even if the other versions die, she'll still be alive. In the end, both she and the Immortal decide to retire and start a family, which may be something they do down the line, but I don't want to get too deep into the Season 7 predictions or whatever. Either way, we had the Lizard League and Sequids getting massively teased in the first part of Season 2, so I think that's all setting up things for what's to come with them both attacking at the same time. Now Mark isn't going to have it easy dealing with all that, and on top of it, he's also really going to struggle with his personal life too. These next 2 points kinda intertwine with one another, but just a quick word from our sponsors and then we'll get the ball rolling. Now for this video, we've teamed up with Exeter, who get you better gear for life on the move. At the moment, they're running a big Black Friday sale and then one for Cyber Week next week, where in both they're giving away 50% off and an extra 5% off by using our code below. Now, in case you don't know, Extra sell a range of wallets, bags and cases, and accessories to help your life on the go. Right here, I've got the Parliament wallet. It's minimalistic, really compact, and it's got this trigger function as well that makes all your cards pop out. Every single time they pop out, that looks cool. I absolutely love doing that. It just keeps things nice and tidy. You look smart, and I think this is a really good product that I definitely recommend you pick up. This grey is the Parliament wallet, but they've also got smaller ones as well, where it's just your card so you can pop in and out, and yeah, really makes life easy. They've got an extra pocket for cards and cash. Yeah, they can hold up to 12 cards, and on top of this, they're extra secure. It also blocks RFID wireless theft and comes in a range of colours, so no matter your look, you're gonna look amazing. On top of this, an extra that I really love is the wallet tracker card. They've got a worldwide lost and found network, so no matter where you leave it, you can instantly track it down, and off just 3 hours of solar charging, it can last for a full 2 months. All you have to do is just leave this in the sun for 3 hours. You've got 2 months of coverage, so you never need to worry about it. It's also credit card size, voice activated by using Siri, Google, or Alexa, and it also fits snugly into this and straps onto your wallet. Boom, nice and easy, and yeah, you've got it on the go. This is the one I've mainly been using at the moment because it goes with the suit. You know, I've been going to lots of weddings recently, so I really love that. But I also picked up the black one as well because I like to mix and match. Now, like I said, they've got a massive Black Friday sale on at the moment, another one during Cyber Week, and in both you're going to get 50% off by visiting the website. But on top of that, an extra 5% by using my code and clicking the link below. My code is Heavy Spoilers. I'm sure you can guess it. Heavy Spoilers. Just click the link in the description, use that code, and you're going to get up to 55% off. Makes an amazing gift. I absolutely love this. So whether someone's birthday's coming up, you know, Christmas is right around the corner and you want to get shopping, definitely pick one of these up. Nice, safe and secure, very sleek and smart. And yeah, huge shout out to them for sponsoring the video. Thank you. Okay, so Mark's obviously been away for a long time, and due to how he left things off with Amber, she's been worried sick. Completely unaware of what's been going on with his personal life, she spent the weeks he's been away fearing for the worst. Now, though the pair get back together, there's still clearly the realization in both of them that they're not really cut out for this life. Though they try and make it work, Mark starts to realize things aren't really meant to be, which we'll talk more about in just a bit. Either way, he flies out to Eve to discuss it, and at her treehouse, the pair talk things over. Amber is there, and though Eve says she's just a normal human and isn't really cut out for this, Mark still holds out hope due to the fact that she looks up. This is because at the start of the comics, when the pair got changed behind the dumpsters at school, Mark was worried that they might get spotted. However, Eve said that normal people never look up, and thus they were okay. Amber looks up at this point though, and Mark gets a bit more hope that she's different. At this point, Mark gets a call from his home and he races back there to discover Angstrom Levy holding both his mother and brother hostage. It's a big cliffhanger that I think they'll probably end an episode on, as that's how they do it in the source material, with them then taking us into issue 33. Now Angstrom taunts Mark and eventually he sends him through several multiversal portals that strand him out in alternate realities. His plan is to wear him down and keep warping him back to beat the crap out of him and then taunt him further. Basically, he dumps him into a world and then pulls him out before smacking him about and then sending him into another. Now, in the lead up to season 2, there are lots of theory times that Spider-Man might appear in the show in some form or another. Showrunner Simon Racioppa teased this during interviews for part 1, with him saying people were going to have to wait and see. Now, both Spider-Man and Invincible are owned by Sony, so there is the possibility that the pair could end up meeting at some point. In the comic, Mark is sent hurtling into the back of Doc Ock, and you can see Spider-Man's hand just by the portal. As he flies out of it, we can also catch a web line, so they may push things beyond that and add it into the moment. Down the line, they also had a massive crossover issue, so they might just pull elements of that across to give us a bit more than what we get in the comics. These alternate worlds can add a lot of cool little Easter eggs into the show, as we have so many things happening in them that give nods to other comics. There's also a zombie reality as well, which could be used as a way for Kirkman to shout out his series The Walking Dead. I'd love to see Rick or something in there too, as at this point when the Invincible comic was being made, The Walking Dead was just getting started. I think Invincible started in 2003 with The Walking Dead in 2004, so I think by the time we got to issue 33 in the book, we would have been deep into that, but I don't think that it was well known enough to the point that Kirkman would have been shouting himself out that much. He does reference himself a lot though, so who knows, mate. I'm just saying, I can't remember what happened last week, mate. Don't ask me about 2004. Anyway, in these other realities, Mark also comes across an animated series-esque Batman, and it really could be a good point to reference other things. Angstrom just keeps wearing him down though, and it tortures Mark knowing that he's helpless to save his mother and brother. In the end though, he manages to break out, and Mark just wails on him. Angstrom takes him to a post-apocalyptic reality, which is where he ends up smashing his face like it's a like button. Now this could be the reality that he used to break the Maulers out in episode 1, and this would help to explain how Mark gets home. Believing that he was the stronger one, Mark has to live with the guilt he feels over apparently killing him, and it's once more him wrestling with over whether he's becoming his father. Now, on top of this, man's stuck out in this reality with no way home. Get it? Because he's going into other universes and meeting Spider-Man is like a bit like No Way Home. Now, at this point, other versions of the Guardians arrive, and we learn that they've been looking for him for decades. They're able to send him back to his own time, but in that branch of reality, Mark ended up disappearing during the fight, and thus they've spent several years trying to track him down. I kind of feel like they might be able to use the Maulers in some way to pinpoint that dimension and potentially go back there, which is how they'll explain that they were able to track him down. Either way, the Eve we meet here is over the moon to see him again, but sadly she's devastated that they never got their time together. She even professes her love for Mark, and he ends up returning home now knowing how she feels about him. Due to his dad not being around, Mark ends up going to Art to ask for advice, and the pair then talk things through, with Mark still deciding to stay with Amber. We'll see how long that lasts, mate, but I think that that's a possibility of where things could be going. Now, this is also an important conversation because it's when Mark brings up his dad's books. That was sort of a cliffhanger for the first part of the season, with Nolan saying,
"My books. Read my books, Mark."
I'm guessing that Art ended up picking these up, and Mark ends up reading through them, which is when he discovers their secrets. Nolan had written these quote-unquote science fiction novels as a way to basically chronicle chapters of his life, with them actually being biographies instead of tall tales. Mark realizes his dad's outlined a way to defeat the Viltrumites, with these books offering the key to their destruction. Now, I kind of feel like those are the main plot lines we're going to get in Season 2, and I think that Nolan will probably be out of it for now. We may get a post-credit scene with him or something, but I feel like he'll be gone off the board until the events of Season 3. Obviously, let me know if you agree or not, as he is the most popular character, let's be honest. But I think other elements will be pulled in on the whole, but that's kind of where I'm leaning with things in terms of the main plot. Either way, please drop a like on the video, and if you want to support the channel as a member of the Spoiler Society, then please click the join button. You'll get early access to videos every week, and it goes such a long way to helping us out. We really appreciate it. Now, if you want to get some heavy spoilers merch, we also got our t-shirt line located below the video that will let you pick up all kinds of tops like our Theory Time one, House of Dragons stuff, Marvel tees, and a lot more. We drop new designs on there all the time too, so definitely keep an eye out for them, and huge thank you for supporting. Now, if you want something else to watch, then make sure you check out our Season 2 Episode 4 breakdown, which will be linked on screen right now. You want to know what happens in the comics with all this stuff that's in the comics, you want to know that, well, you come the right place, mate. We've got all that for you. So thanks for clicking that, which I know you're going to do now after that amazing sales pitch. I'll see you over there, and thank you for all your time on this. I've been your host, Paul. You enjoy the rest of your week, mate, and take care of yourself. Peace.